Welcome to Omasae. Today, we're stepping through the garden gate into a world that feels like it was lifted straight from the pages of a classic storybook. Imagine birdsong in the morning light, winding paths edged with lavender, and the soft rustle of petals brushing against your skirt. A cottage garden is not just a style, it's a feeling. It's comfort, memory, and timeless beauty all growing side by side. This video will guide you through how to turn your own backyard into a blooming haven, one that balances natural abundance with artistic intent. Whether you have a small patch or a generous yard, we'll show you how to layer plants, use nostalgic materials, and create intimate corners full of character and charm. You'll discover why people still fall in love with the cottage garden after centuries, and how easy it can be to start your own. So take a deep breath, settle in, and picture the garden of your dreams. And if you enjoy this stroll through beauty and imagination, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more from Omasae. We have so much more blooming just for you. One of the defining features of a cottage garden is its rich layering. Nothing is flat, predictable, or sparse. Instead, the eye dances from tall foxgloves swaying in the back to mounded roses in the middle and fragrant thyme creeping along the path. This type of planting invites you in and holds you close. It's about embracing a certain fullness and abundance. letting each plant contribute to the whole like brushstrokes in a painting. Taller perennials like delphinium and hollyhock create vertical interest, while mounding plants like peonies and daisies provide a colorful core. At ground level, creeping jenny or sweet alyssum offer a gentle fringe. The textures matter too. Think soft lamb's ear against the crisp snap of dianthus, or the arching blades of ornamental grass beside stiff lavender stems. Don't forget color harmony. Soft pinks, deep purples, sunny yellows, and whites are the palette of dreams. Layering isn't just for looks. It fosters pollinators and keeps the soil shaded and healthy. Even in small yards, staggered heights and mixed textures can give a sense of lushness and depth. This technique brings the garden to life, making it feel less like a collection of plants and more like a living, breathing sanctuary. A winding garden path is like the beginning of a great tale. It hints at magic ahead. In cottage gardens, paths aren't just practical. They're romantic, emotional, and even symbolic. Instead of rigid straight lines, you'll find soft curves that lead you around secret corners and tucked away seats. Materials matter here. Worn brick, gravel, flagstone, or even reclaimed wood boards each lend their own feeling of age and permanence. As the path weaves through plantings, it should feel slightly hidden by blooms or greenery, like nature has lovingly spilled over with time. Lining the path with herbs like lavender, chamomile, or thyme means every step releases fragrance. A path should slow you down, not rush you through. It encourages you to pause, notice a bee on a blossom, or sit down with your tea under a rose-draped arbor. Even a small backyard benefits from a thoughtful pathway. It breaks the space into rooms, gives structure to planting beds, and adds that irresistible come-this-way charm. Add a rustic gate, a vintage lantern, or a bird bath along the way, and suddenly your yard becomes a journey. These paths tell a story in stones and scents, gently guiding you into the heart of your own personal fairy tale. A cottage garden is incomplete without the personality of vintage details, those little surprises that turn a garden from pretty to poetic. Picture an old watering can spilling petunias by the path, a chipped teacup tucked among marigolds, or a rusted iron chair that invites you to stay a while. These items carry stories with them. They whisper of a slower, simpler time. The key is choosing pieces that feel aged, humble, and full of soul. Ironwork trellises, wooden ladders, enamel basins, or even a weathered gate all become part of the landscape. Repurposed objects, like turning a dresser drawer into a planter or using an old window frame as a garden mirror, add charm and originality. Think of it as curating memories in the open air. These vintage elements soften the space, blending human history with natural beauty. They break up the formality and create pauses, places for the eye to rest and the heart to remember. A well-placed antique mirror can reflect a burst of foxgloves, doubling the delight. Even a simple piece of lace wrapped around a mason jar can bring a warm, homemade glow. These are the touches that make your garden not just beautiful, but truly yours. In a cottage garden, color isn't just decoration, it's expression. Every hue tells a story, whether it's the blushing pink of old-fashioned roses or the striking purple of salvias dancing in the breeze. This style embraces a painter's palette, blending shades with soft abandon, like a watercolor spilling across a page. But it's not about chaos. It's a balance between bold statements and gentle transitions. You might start with a romantic mix of pinks and creams, then blend into deeper reds, purples, and blues as your eye moves through the garden. Self-seeding annuals like Cosmos or Nigella add unexpected dashes of color in new spots every year, creating a garden that changes like chapters in a book. You can use color to draw the eye, highlight a favorite bench, or frame an entrance. White flowers, moonlight phlox, daisies, white hollyhocks, give breathing space between more saturated tones and glow beautifully in morning or twilight. The beauty of cottage garden color is that it's never too matchy. Nature doesn't coordinate, and neither should you. Let the palette evolve with the seasons: yellow daffodils in spring, purple verbena in summer, and fiery zinnias in fall. Think of your garden as a living quilt, stitched from the blooms of memory, joy, and a little wildness. That's the charm of color in a cottage garden. It isn't perfect, but it always feels like home. A storybook garden doesn't just appeal to the eyes. It speaks to the soul through scent and sound. Close your eyes and imagine the sweet perfume of heirloom roses, the calming notes of lavender in the breeze, or the minty freshness of crushed lemon balm underfoot. These fragrances ground you in the moment, slowing your pace and deepening your breath. A cottage garden welcomes fragrant plants in abundance, not only for beauty but for emotional well-being. Plant jasmine by the gate, place sweet peas near a window, or tuck thyme beside stepping stones. And don't forget the soft symphony of sound: birds chirping in the morning, bees humming as they work, leaves rustling overhead. Include wind chimes crafted from vintage silverware or softly clinking shells to add gentle music to your space. A small fountain or bird bath becomes a magnet for wildlife. Introducing the happy splash of feathered visitors and the ripples of a garden made alive. You can even use ornamental grasses that whisper in the wind or bamboo that gently taps like nature's percussion. Every corner of your garden should invite you to pause, to breathe in, and to listen. In a world often too loud and fast, your garden becomes a refuge, an orchestra of peace, nostalgia, and wonder, composed one bloom and birdsong at a time. No cottage garden is complete without a place to sit and dream. These gardens aren't just for looking, they're for being. A bench under an arbor, a bistro table among daisies, or even an old rocker tucked beside a lilac bush can transform your yard from a space to a sanctuary. Seating areas in cottage gardens are about intimacy and emotion. You don't need a grand patio, just a quiet nook where you can sip tea, read a novel, or watch butterflies flit from bloom to bloom. Choose natural or vintage materials that blend into the garden. Wrought iron, aged wood, stone, or wrought tan. Add softness with a floral cushion, a crocheted throw, or a small lantern glowing in the dusk. Let plants spill around and under the seating. Ivy trailing across the legs of a bench, violas peeking through brick cracks, or roses tumbling along the backrest. These tiny scenes give your garden soul. You can even create multiple sitting spots, one for morning sun, one for midday shade, and one to catch the last golden light. Each place offers a new perspective, a fresh chapter in the garden's unfolding tale. And don't worry if it's not perfectly tidy. This is a garden that embraces the imperfect, the mossy, the gently worn. In these quiet seats, time slows down, and the stories of your life feel gently held by petals and leaves. A cottage garden, at its heart, celebrates nature's freedom. It's never rigid, never forced. Instead of manicured hedges and uniform beds, it leans into wildness with grace. Plants grow close together, softening borders and encouraging a feeling of lush intimacy. Allow self-sowers like poppies, larkspur, and calendula to wander where they please. Give bees a banquet of blossoms and birds a tangle of twigs for nesting. It's about welcoming nature, not controlling it. Leave some corners untrimmed, let dandelions bloom, welcome the moss on old bricks. These gestures show your garden is alive and evolving. But there's an art to this freedom. Pathways offer gentle order, vertical elements like arches or trellises give structure, and layering adds rhythm to the chaos. Cottage gardening is about trust. The trust that beauty will come, not from control, but from relationship. And it rewards that trust with a garden that buzzes, blooms, and breathes. It's a space that feels ancient and alive all at once, echoing the wild gardens of countryside cottages from generations past. And for you, it becomes a place of renewal, where the imperfections are perfect, the surprises delightful, and the wildness a kind of grace. In this way, a cottage garden doesn't just change your yard, it gently changes you.